For a long time, I was reading books, but I wasn't learning anything because I was reading passively. To be honest, I realized this recently. So I asked this question, like, how can I learn books effectively? And I watched some videos about it. And after that, I discovered 4 amazing techniques I hope will change my reading, the way I read. As you know, the goal of this channel, the point of this channel is just I learn something new and share it immediately with you guys. Last year, I was reading these self-help books, but trust me, I was thinking like, oh, I'm learning a lot of new things. My life will change. I was in this mind. I was in this perspective, but honestly, trust me, nothing changed. Nothing changed. Literally nothing changed. Why? I was shocked, to be honest. I didn't know why until now. And after I watched some videos, I figured it out. The reason why I was slipping into the same mistakes and why I wasn't learning anything, even though I was reading these such amazing help books. So the first technique, after you read one chapter, for example, after you read this chapter ends here, then the new chapter starts here. You shouldn't read the next chapter, okay? Please stop and start thinking. Ask these questions like, what did I learn now? What did I read about? What was writer talking about to me in the last chapter? You need to ask these questions in order to deepen, in order to strengthen your understanding level. After you ask these kind of questions, I'm pretty sure your understanding level will grow, because the people who made video about how to read effectively had the same thing. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Please do it. But they also said that also one of the best thing to deepen your understanding is by discussing with your friends your books, what you're reading, what you're learning. For example, before you start reading this book, by the way, this is a very, very, very famous book, and I strongly recommend you to give it a try because you can definitely learn a lot of new things. But please don't read it passively, okay? So all you need to do, ask your friend this question. Hey, how are you doing? I'm gonna read this book. I'm gonna start reading this book. So what do you think if we read this book together? It would be very amazing because I learned that one technique, which is after we read something new, if we discuss this book will stay in our mind longer. Even we will not forget it. Okay? As Naval Ravikant said, if you truly understand something, you don't have to memorize it. Okay? So these techniques, like asking questions and discussing what you read with your friends, will help you understand deeply. So the next tip is you need to take notes. If you truly want to understand, to get the most from out of any books you read, you need to take notes. It's critical. Here's why. After you take notes in your own words, it will strengthen your comprehension, and that book will stay in your mind forever, maybe, but for a long time. And it will be very easy for you to apply what you learn in your life. And this technique is very good. But how can you do it? Like, how should you take notes? And there is a way. So after you read the chapter, after you discuss with your friend, or if you're alone, don't worry, you can definitely ask some questions and also improve your understanding level. After you do these things, you need to take your notebooks like this. Maybe you can use your phone, the note apps. There are thousands of them out there, and just use them. Just write down what you read in your own words. The videos that I watched said the same thing. This strengthen your understanding level, and the next time, like when something needs in the future, by looking at what you wrote, you won't have to read the whole book again. You will just take the important points by looking at your notes, then you will not read the whole book, okay? This is very amazing technique and I'm gonna give it a try. The next step, the next technique is apply what you learn. This is very important because we read books in order to increase the quality of our life, right? Because knowledge without action is useless. Even small actions can make a huge difference in your life. So apply what you learn. The last but not least, reread the books you read. Yeah, you've heard me correct. You need to reread the books again. This is very, very, very important. This part is very important. Here's why. In your next attempt, for example, let's say you read this book, you complete it, then in your next attempt, in your next time, when you read it, you will notice the thing you missed in your first attempt. And I tend to realize what I didn't understand for my first attempt when I do this technique. And actually, I've already read these books for 2 times. But in my next attempt, I understood probably 50% of this book. And I also strongly recommend you to read these books again in your future. After 10 years now, from 10 years now, you can definitely, I would strongly recommend you to read these books again, I'm not talking about these books, but these books are very helpful. Whatever book you read, just read that book later on. And here's the conclusion. If I make a conclusion, I would say that reading is not about finishing a lot of books. Reading is about understanding something, learning new things, and changing your life. That's it. Because if you read something new, then we'll start seeing the world differently. So please read actively, not passively.